Hey, what's up, everybody? So, I'm going to be talking about The Mummy today in my movie review. So, I just got back from seeing this movie, and my initial reactions are that this movie is extremely mediocre. So, The Mummy. So, this movie is supposed to be setting up this monsters franchise that Universal is trying to do. It stars Tom Cruise is in it. It's got Russell Crowe and Sophia Boutella. So all three of those names, I especially Tom Cruise. I am a big Tom Cruise fan. I feel like he does not do bad movies, and sadly, I think this might be one of his not so good ones. Like I feel like if Tom Cruise is in it, I almost always love the movie. The guy is he is hardcore. He's always 110%. You're always gonna get it doesn't matter what it is. If he agrees to do it, he's going to give it all he's got. I've been a fan of his since I was a kid, growing up elementary school during the Cold War. I remember going to the theaters to watch Top Gun, and I was like, "This guy is the coolest guy in the world. I want to be a fighter pilot." I'm a big Tom Cruise fan. I like Russell Crowe. I don't love Russell Crowe. I like him. I think he's really good. He's a top actor. And this girl Sophia Boutella, the first time I saw her was in this movie called The Kingsman, which I thought she was incredible in that movie. And then she was in the last Star Trek Into Darkness movie, which I did not know that was her. I actually liked the girl with the white face and the stripes on her face, and I liked her so much that I went and looked up who it was, and I was like, oh, that's the girl from Kingsman. And she's in this one. And that girl, there's something about her look. She's not like a big, UFC type of girl or anything like that, but something about her just says like that she'll kill you. I don't know what it is. I don't know if that's a good thing to say or a bad thing, but um, that's that's what I think. Uh, so this movie is directed by a guy named Alex Kurtzman, which I had no idea who this guy was. So I looked him up, and mostly it looks like he's been a writer producer. And looking at his filmography, I actually really like a lot of the movies that he's done. He wrote or co-wrote The Island, Mission Impossible 3, the first Transformers, Watchmen, Eagle Eye, the Star Trek. Um, he did Star Trek Into Darkness. Um, Ender's Game I liked. Then he started to fall off the wagon after Into Darkness because he or after Ender's Game they did Amazing Spider-Man 2, the Brothers Grimm's I didn't even see, or Now You See Me, but this appears to be his first shot at directing. um, and this guy seems like he's all in on this Monsters universe because he's already down as a producer for The Invisible Man, Van Helsing, and The Vampire Chronicles. He's producing all those. So this appears to be one of the children of this guy. And this is not. This movie wasn't a horrible pile of garbage, but I mean it had its moments. It's. I'll give you my score later, but it had some good moments. This movie's got well, let's talk about the way it's shot. I like the way it's shot. It's a competently made film. Okay, it's not a horribly made film. There's this other female lead in the movie that I don't know who she is. I've never heard of her. I don't think I've ever seen her. There was no chemistry between her and Tom Cruise. Uh, the soundtrack was average, nothing special. I actually don't even remember it. There's nothing memorable. It was just serviceable soundtrack, serviceable cinematography, serviceable. So this is all average across the board. Um, I'd give it 5 across the board, right? Your standard stuff. Kind of like a car that you buy that functions, that you see down the road. If you saw it committing a crime, you wouldn't be sure how to identify it because it's just like it looks like every other car. Um, let's talk about the story, which is the main thing. So, the story this movie started off exciting, right? There's a missile strike. Tom Cruise is a soldier who sells artifacts from wherever he goes, ancient artifacts, into the black market. He and his buddy do it, and just so happens they go to a place where these terrorists or whatever, and there's a missile strike, and it shows like, oh, deep down inside there's like an ancient tomb thing, and apparently because when they pull up this sarcophagus that has a mummy in it, just because he is the one that's standing right in front of it, it suddenly picks him. Right? The girl is in there as his like lover to rule. I don't know why to rule what. I don't know what the point of this is. I don't know if it's explained. Then they bring the sarcophagus back in a plane, and it's his buddy is like gets bitten by some spider when they're in the tomb, and now he's gone bananas and he stabs people on the plane. Then Tom Cruise shoots him, and then a plague or a flock of, I guess it's called a murder of crows comes towards the plane, and the plane crashes or starts going down. He saves the girl. Tom Cruise saves the girl. You've seen it in the trailer with the parachute. He crashes. You think he's dead. Then he wakes up in the morgue and he's not dead. Oh yeah, the way he found the artifact was because he stole the map from that girl that he saved. And because they slept together, and she tracked him down. He's like, "You stole the map after we boned. Oh, that's messed up, man. That was fake. You only lasted 15 seconds." And then he's like on the plane, "Oh, it was longer than that." But there's like no. It just seems like they hate each other. Well, I don't know why you say. I wanted to save her. I'm like, you said I lasted 15 seconds. I'm not saving you. Bye. Like, I wouldn't sacrifice myself for. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, later, so he's like having visions and stuff later, and she's with him, and he's waking up in random places. This mummy thing's after him, and the mummy's in his mind, trying to get him to go to where she's at, where the plane crashed in England, right? Because they were going to London to bring back the sarcophagus. Anyways, he goes down to some organization, which is clear that, so at this point, it started to become clear to me. They go down, and then the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde is down in this place, and it's played by Russel Crowe. So it's clear that this is their version of what the Marvel Universe uses S.H.I.E.L.D. for. Russel Crowe is kind of like, it seems like he's going to be like Nick Fury. And his little organization, what they do is they go around and they hunt monsters, and they trap them if they're dangerous, or they kill them, or they exterminate them, or experiment on them, research them, whatever. And it's run by Dr. Jekyll. So it really became clear that they are trying to copy the Marvel formula, right? DC tried to do its own thing. It didn't work. Wonder Woman is a little bit more like the Marvel movies, and it worked. Right, so it kind of worked, but they did something in the middle, right? So shortly after he meets Russell Crowe, I really started to nod off during this movie. So there are some parts where I think I fell asleep. Hopefully I wasn't snoring. And I remember waking up, and he's fighting Russell Crowe. After he gives this long-winded spiel. Oh, we're an organization, we do this, and blah 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 blah. And he kind of turns into Mr. Hyde for a second. You know, he didn't Hulk out like in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, but he got all like veiny and gross, like he needed like he had a skin rash, or I don't know what he had. And then he's like being all long-winded, and he's basically saying, "Oh, here's our business." It's basically like an executive saying, "No, you got to tell the audience what our business plan is. We're gonna make Dracula," and then they try to make him do it. And oh god, I fell asleep. And then by the time I started to come back around. So everything up to them seeing this Dr. Jekyll dude, it was exciting. The airplane scene was exciting. Going down in the tomb, that was exciting. That was all exciting. It was right when you got to that middle act. Act 2 was boring. And then he keeps fighting. The mummy's like she gets loose, and she can suck the life out of people. And then she starts to go from being this ugly, rotting corpse to like more like looking like Sophia Boutella. Which is like, damn, she looks good. Like, oh man, she's such a good looking woman. Anyway, she's going around sucking the life out of people. They're turning into mummies, so she's raising an army. And here's where I don't understand she's luring Tom Cruise back so she can kill him so they can be together. And I don't know what. I think that they're gonna be together or rule the world. But I don't understand. I don't understand what is her motive and why. At one point, the blonde girl that he doesn't even like gets drowned. There's spoilers, right? So spoilers. Gets drowned. She dies. And he's like, no! And I'm like, I thought you didn't even like her. So then he goes and he picks up this magical knife, which is like the only thing that can kill him, I guess, or it's a ceremonial knife that's got a little ruby in it. When you put the ruby in the blade or the handle of the knife, then you can kill whatever and you become super powerful. So I guess Sophia Boutella was trying to make him powerful somehow. Even though he survived the plane crash, right? So I don't know, is he immortal? Did he have powers? Because she was tossing him around really hard, like tossing him into. They were in this like church or cemetery or something. And she's like tossing him into these stone things, and I'm like, wouldn't that kill a person? I mean, he didn't have a scratch on him from the plane crash after he woke up in the morgue. So I don't know. So for whatever reason, he somehow deduces, because she tells him that she'll give him powers to like cheat death or bring people back from the dead. So instead of letting her kill him with the knife, he stabs himself, which I don't know how he knew what that was going to do at all. And then she's like, no, I'm not supposed to do that. And then he's all badass, like his eyes turn all double, and now he's like he can change his face, like kind of like a monster face, like this mask, and then he kills or he knocks out Sophia Boutella, and then he sucks all of the life out of her and breathes it into the chick that he didn't even like for some reason. And then Sophia Boutella just stays as a rotting corpse mummy. She's inanimate again. The blonde chick wakes up. Tom Cruise is gone. Blonde chick calls Dr. Hyde. They come and they get the mummy. They put her in like mercury because apparently that puts her to sleep or makes her weak. And then they lower her down in some vault with all chains and stuff. And they had captured her before. I don't even know how she escaped. I must have fallen asleep. They had her there captured and in chains at one point, and Tom Cruise was like, suddenly he knows ancient Egyptian. I don't know how she escaped. I must have dozed off. Anyway, and then the next scene, Tom Cruise brings back his buddy from the beginning of the movie who got bit by the spider, and they're riding through the desert, and there's a voiceover of Mr. Hyde. Oh, by the way, in Mr. Hyde's lab, there was this, like, Gillman's hand was in there, Creature from the Black Lagoon. There was, like, a skull with vampire fangs, and so they're setting up. They're doing it subtly. They didn't crap the bed like DC did with, like, oh, make the Flash show up, make all these other. They did it. They did it in a good way. They did it in a good way. It was a little. It did take me out of it. I was like, oh, this is like the version of Shield. Oh, that's kind of like Nick Fury. Oh, the formula worked, but the story was I don't know what Sophia Boutella was trying to accomplish. Why is she gonna fall in love with Tom Cruise? Like, just because he was standing there? What if I don't get it. I just don't get it. And how did he know that killing himself would do anything? And after he like quote unquote killed himself and turned himself into a power thing, he broke he broke the ruby on the knife, so the knife's no good now, I guess. Or is it? I don't know. But yeah, he's like riding through the desert. I don't know if there's after credit scene. I was gonna wait, and I was like, I don't want to wait, so I just left. And there were today. I think it opens this weekend. There's only like 20 people in that theater, and it's Friday night. So I went to like a 5:30 show. Maybe it was too early. I would say it's not a disaster. I guess they got it going, man. They got the little universe going. Apparently, I said on someone else's channel, no one cares about the Mummy or Dracula, and then like 10 people were like, I care. You're a fat slug. You're stupid. I'm like, and I didn't bother to respond because I think these characters are outdated and they're no. You know what scary universe I am into is the Conjuring stuff. I think that stuff's cool with Annabelle and the two Conjuring movies. That I'm interested in. But these are monsters, and there were a couple like scares, kind of, a couple like two or three, but it was not a scary movie. It was more action packed. The other Mummy movies with Brendan Fraser, the first two, the third one I also fell asleep in. Maybe, I don't know what it is. The Mummy don't they fall asleep for 2,000 years? Maybe it's something about the Mummy. I fall asleep. It's just maybe that's their goal to make you fall asleep like they were. But those first two Brendan Fraser movies, I loved those movies. I thought they were incredibly fun. They were adventure movies. They were not horror movies, but I thought they were unbelievably fun. Um, Yeah, so I guess if I had to give this movie a rating, I'd give this movie, with 5 being average, 5 is an average film. Um, it had some scenes that were fun. At the beginning, it started okay, and then it started to fall apart. And by the time the girl, I'd give this movie, on the Star Strider scale, a 43. 4-3. 43. So I'd say don't go see it. Unless if you want to go to a matinee, go ahead. If you're curious in this universe, go ahead. If you like The Mummy, yeah, I like Tom Cruise. I like Sophia Boutella. Uh, yeah, 43. That's about what I give it. Slightly below average. It's not a train wreck, though. It's not a disaster. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think if anybody watches this. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.